My name's Ann Cleeves. I'm a crime writer. I've been writing for lots of years. I'm best known for the 2 series which have been adapted for television, Shetland, and of course Vera, which is set in the northeast of England, which is my adopted home. I always say I'm a northeasterner by choice, not by birth, but I can't imagine living anywhere else. What I'm interested in is the characters and the relationships and families and community, what holds communities together and what makes them fall apart. I always start off with place. I always put Vera somewhere and then I see what happens. The books are set mostly north of the Tyne, but then it was wonderful when the ITV studios took over and they spread the net a bit more widely. So they've been all over the north of England, from North Yorkshire, and lots set in Teesside, lots set in South Tyneside as well. Vera is a woman of a certain age. She is very strong, very authoritative, very competent, but she doesn't care at all what she looks like. And I started writing her, I suppose, as an antidote to the beautiful young women which we saw on television, and I wanted somebody who was more real, I think. When I'm writing now, I see Brenda, but I also hear her voice when I'm writing dialogue, because she does those witty put-downs so well. And sometimes I think, I hope the scriptwriter keeps that line in, because Bren's going to love saying that. I love the northeast coast, and I love that sense of big skies and long horizons. It looked so beautiful, and the scenery was so wonderful, and it absolutely captured the sense of place.
Well, look at this. I mean, this is magnificent, isn't it? How could you not be inspired to write about this? Could you not see a murderer or a body just down there on the tide line? It's absolutely brilliant. Yeah, this weather just screams detective fiction, doesn't it? The wild winds and the breakers coming into the shore. There's got to be a body in there somewhere. It's about community, isn't it? And you've got to be tough to survive this weather, this place. But we know that it's a place where people hang together, and that's worth millions. There are stories everywhere, aren't there? Look at this place. Funfair in winter. It's full of possibilities. So if you're an aspiring writer, quite often it's good to start with a place, or maybe a bit of overheard conversation, or a person that you meet, but go out there and look for it. Look for the stories in the places where you are, and you'll find them. Detective fiction was always my comfort reading. I suppose I was an Enid Blyton child. I loved those mysteries, that idea of trying to work out a puzzle and find out what happened at the end. The traditional crime story has to have some kind of resolution at the end. And I think that's why readers enjoy it so much, especially in a time of uncertainty, as we've been through in the last few years. That sense that there is some hope and there is some reconciliation and there is some sense of justice at the end. And I think that's true of all crime fiction. I was always an observer, watching, listening, not being quite part of the action, and that's great practice for being a writer. I never thought I would actually make a living at it, but it was always something that was going to happen. I'm not precious about the books, you see, because when they go out into the world, I think they belong to the readers, not to me, because everybody, every reader sees them differently, and they bring their own history and imagination and prejudices to the stories. I think reading's much more creative than we give it credit for. So handing it over to a production team to turn into television is really just one step beyond that. So I love watching them like every other viewer. I sit there and I want to know what's going to happen next. What really gave me a real stab of pride was going to the first Vera read-through. It's providing work in the region. It's bringing tourists into the region, and it's bringing income
into the region. So that's what's made me most proud, I think.